new road. No turning back. We have our ancestors with us. We're going to continue to dance with them. Dreaming them. Calling them. Seeing them. We are becoming what we were.
It is part of that Mayan prophecies.
7 triangles of light.
Keep walking. You are the spirit of Unapu. Keep walking. We the human, we are doing the spirit of Unapu.
People who say that God made them from corn, they plan their lives according to the heavens. Well versed in astronomy, using a sophisticated mathematics, they calculated the movements of the night sky thousands of years into the past and thousands of years into the future. They knew that the universe moved in cycles. Their lives were ruled by the rhythms of the natural world, planting and harvesting, birth and death, just as the great tree of life emerges from the earth.
Always they're connected. Science and religion.
In dreams, we learn from the Mayan gods when to plant and when to harvest, when to set fire, and when to do the corn ceremony.
What we're digging up, what we're coming up with is part of our history. And the men that lived here are some of the greatest men we've ever had. And it's a fact that we're getting to know more and more and more about the life of these people.
They still maintain their customs. They still maintain their ways of organizing their societies. And it's very exciting to see how much of the ancient Maya way of life is still alive now.
Because American history does not begin in 1492 with Columbus. It begins in 200 BC with the first Maya king who wrote his name on a stone. What is happening now is the people who made these places, people like Yashpak or Bird Jaguar or Fakal, are getting back to their voices. They are becoming real to us and speaking to the people of the 20th century about who built this place and why and what they felt and what they thought about the world. These are not anonymous people anymore.
You are the spirit of Unapu. Keep walking. We the human, we are doing the spirit of Unapu.
Yes.
LA natives. I have to apologize. This is my fault that I'm late.
LA natives. We just had to take a couple minutes and get set up, guys. For all you early birds out there, I really appreciate you guys tuning in. This is going to be an amazing show. We got some very special guests in the building. Welcome to our Wednesday discussions. Welcome to the Warriors Think Tank.
Warrior Wednesdays. I like Warrior Wednesdays.
You like Warrior Wednesdays?
Yeah.
I like Warriors Think Tank.
You like that one?
Yeah. You know what? Is it Warriors Think Tank or Warrior Think Tank, Zero?
I think Warriors because it's more than just one of us. Everyone who participates in LA natives and has an opinion and wants to better the situation for themselves and for their community, especially their family. That takes a Warriors.
We have some new subscribers on our website. I want to thank all the LA native community out there that support this podcast, that absorb the messages that Zero brings to this platform. And I want to just give a shout out to all the fans that are just giving us so much feedback. Just the other day, right, Zero, we just had a great message from a fan that, was very inspiring.
Yeah. Well,
but you get that all the time, Zero.
No, in the 4 agreements, we're taught to not take things personal, right? And what that means is like, even when you're complimented in a positive way, where like, oh, wow, I really liked your message, or I really liked your art, or things like that, I try not to take them personal, not to offend, but to know that I'm just reflecting what everyone else is. So if it resonates, if it has any positive comments or any of that nature, I just kind of give it back to the people that are giving it to me, and say thank you for understanding your own self.
Yes.
Like, that's the way I try to take it.
Yes.
So, I mean,
and these fans are actively pursuing that. That's why they're messaging us.
I mean, the message is overwhelming sometimes, you know, where you go like, whoa, you know, something you said affected someone in that way. And you have to be humble. You can't again take it personal. It's something that you feel like kind of like a mechanic, right? If he's good at fixing a car, he doesn't get all happy because he fixed a car. He knows how to fix a car.
Yeah.
So you have to take a neutral approach to it.
Yeah.
And that keeps you in a place where you know, you're grounded and you're able to continue to improve your art.
Yeah, and it just goes to show the type of podcast this is, where we're able to build a certain lane and cover a certain niche, and to understand that we're actually creating positive changes for these fans. That's overwhelming to me, Zero.
Absolutely.
You know, shout out to Brandon, shout out to Bugs, shout out to everyone that's in the chat. We got some very special guests in the building, as you guys are fully aware. We had a flyer going out. We have Kultura clothing in the building. What's up, guys?
Hey, what's up? What's up? Thank you for having us.
Kultura clothing.
El Vuh. El Vuh.
Yeah.
And then Hip Hop Blog. It's a pleasure to be here, guys. Thank you.
Can you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves?
My name is Carlos. I go by Kilo. Everybody in the street know me Kilo. This is my homeboy Spider. We're part of SKM, Kultura Clothing. You know, just a whole bunch of different guys that grew up in the neighborhood, and we all clicked up. We all eventually met each other in the early 90s when Conejo was doing his thing in the beginning of the mixtapes and all of that. We're part of all that. We've been there, you know, through that process. So I had Spider. So,
right.
You know, we just, from the same neighborhood, we grew up there, and, you know, eventually we all spread it out.
Yeah.
And Conejo coming back to the hip hop game,
right,
to the Chicano rap game, whatever you want to call it. You know, I feel my homeboy is a little underrated.
Well,
when it comes
you know,
to that.
To me, I how I see it with Conejo's career, he's kind of like a national treasure for me.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to, you know,
absolutely,
the lane that he paved. All comes back to the origins of Kultura clothing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I want to go ahead and dive right into the heart of the first year, the first month, the first week, the conception of the idea of like, look, I want to go ahead and push a clothing line for the people, because it's not just, you know, a typical standard clothing line, right? It actually stands out. So can you go ahead and take us all back to, you know, the whole background on
the brand,
on the brand? Yeah.
Exactly. Well, pretty much it started back in I want to say 2010. I've been in the game for 11 years. My first drawing started off at my homeboy in prison started sending me artwork, and you know, it was coming in, and I was paying him off, like, just to help him out. And then, you know, it got to a point where I got like 5-6 drawings, and they're dope as hell. And I'm like, what am I gonna do with these? Have in mind, I've never silk screen printed. I don't know nothing about that game. Nothing. I mean, I've been a dental assistant by trade. I went to, you know, UEI, got my degree on that. Done a ton of telemarketing jobs in the past. Always been a hustler, always selling, you know, always. So I was like, you know, I've always been in the hip hop game, in the underground game. So bringing a brand is all about promotion and putting yourself out there, and, you know, always in mind that G-Raps was going to come back.
Yeah.
Have in mind that, you know, I'm always thinking like, man, we're going to see G-Raps again. Hopefully you know, this is all a nightmare, and everything is gonna be cool again, and we're gonna be doing shows again. You know, none of the homies are kicking it. We're not talking to each other. Everybody's just doing their thing, raising their kids, you know, so on and so forth. So we started doing the artwork. Artwork started coming in. One day I was like, okay, I gotta get it cleaned up. I gotta digitize it because I can't put it out like this. It doesn't look good.
Now, was the artwork the original artwork, like
prison artwork? This is all prison artwork. So all we do is I pay the homies up, like let's say $300 for a drawing. I take that drawing and I got a couple of homies. I got my nephew involved in the business. He took a trade school for digitizing, so he gets the artwork. He digitizes it. Shout out to my nephew Brian Serrano for always looking out and cleaning up the artwork, you know, doing this thing. And so once we did that, the artwork really popped out. It looked nice, and we started taking it out.
And then like I always talk to Zero about this, like the direction with the theme of Mexica statues and font symbolism, taking it back to like our ancestors. When people look at this band, like how did that come about? Like that style of clothing.
The style of clothing was like, man, I seen a lot of people, just a lot of our youth, man, wearing Last Kings hats. You know, I'm all like, why are we doing all this? You know, like we got our own culture that we could represent, and it's beautiful, and you know, we have a lot to offer to the community, the hip hop culture, LA especially, man. We've been here, and I got a little lost in the question.
No, like the whole when
they come to my booth,
it is educational, right?
Yeah,
Zero? It's like Zero, I see your shirt, bro. Like that shirt was profound for me when I bought it back in the day.
I got that shirt.
You know what I'm saying, Zero? Like for a kid from the outside looking in that's not familiar with symbolism behind the artwork. Right, Zero?
Yeah. Well, I mean, these are old statues that really nobody knows what they mean. So, you know, you do what you can.
Right.
Draw them, put them out. Good job.
It's a little bit that you know, just very, very minimum of what they say, you know. But speaking on that, man, I know that I have a guy that draws for me. He goes by Guido Reese, who's a great artist. The shirt that I gave you, I don't know if you see the features on the natives on those images. They got the flat noses. They don't got the European look, you know, like the way he draws them is this authentic native look. And he's a great artist, man. I feel that he's one of like the best top airbrush guys in the game in LA since the 70s.
Wow.
And the way he draws and expresses the artwork is cultivating, man. I'm just like, I was blown away when I seen his stuff. And it's like, this guy hits it right in the money, the way the native look should look. You know what I mean?
Well, the detail it puts in, you know, when you have time, like especially if you're talking about prison art, you know, you have a lot of time. It's not like you go, well, I'm going to wait 5 weeks to hit this drawing up. So the type of detail that comes out of those type of artworks, I mean, it's amazing, you know.
It really is.
So
it really is.
Then I'm assuming that this brother was, you know, either learned from someone who was incarcerated, or maybe he was the airbrush guy you're talking about.
Yeah, Guido Reese has been in the system since the 70s, off and on.
So you think, so that's where he learned his skills.
Not just that, the story that he's told me, he comes from Guatemala, from a town. I forget what native town they're from, but he came from Guatemala with a beca because he was able to do a rock sculpture that he found in his town.
Wow.
And he built it into a sculpture, which was a Mayan sculpture, obviously. And con eso él agarró una beca to come to the U.S. And then in the U.S., you know, he got caught up in the gangs. And everything didn't go as he planned. But he was still able to be successful as an artist.
Yeah.
He does airbrush for cars, and you know, he's been in magazines, Lowrider, plenty of times.
When it comes to Chicano culture, when it comes to Mexican culture, we've been institutionalized, right? In that institution, either you're gonna get swallowed up by it, or you're gonna learn a skill. And that skill sometimes is profound drawings, you know. And then when you have lots of time on your hands and you start to meditate on why you're there, what decisions you made, and start to figure out and start to find out who you really are, because you have to, right? Because you're forced to in that situation. Obviously, there's the outside world of that life, but there's also time isolated by yourself where you have to think. And then I think they just go so deep that they pull out these images and their hand just goes.
Well, and
that's the profound part of it.
And is he from Los Angeles?
Yeah,
or
all my artists,
all the artists that you seek
I'm gonna
out?
tell you, all my artwork, I must have like 23 designs. My first homeboy was Saul Balenciaga, that really cultured the some of the gang style, like the lowrider. We did, you know, our beginnings were different. I wanted to bring the LA culture, the West Side. So my first designs were like the Staples Center with a lowrider. Like right now, I'm going back to like the lowriding scene too, because just right now with all the epidemic going on, there's a lot of lowriding going on. So I kind of want to do both, like bring the culture of LA and our native culture to the streets.
It's just interesting how it intertwines. It kind of just meshes. You ask an individual why they're doing it, and they sometimes don't even know.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I'm sure that like your inspiration for doing clothing is very much different than my inspiration for writing music. Right. My music it revolves around the culture. It revolves around these images, these stone figures, these temples. And then sometimes people put it in there and you ask them why, they're like, oh, I just think it looks cool. I know we're from there, and that's enough.
With me, it's more like educating the culture, and helping my just helping my friends, because homeboy is a tattoo artist, Art Kota. I've known him since we were kids. He's a great artist. From when we were kids, he would draw, and the kids would be like, you didn't draw that. Your dad drew that. He'll get mad. He'll be like, no, I drew that. I drew it. So he's been with me from the gate, and he's always done like stuff for me, and just out of love, like he hooks it up. He knows the culture, like he knows what's in it. But like we go back to prison,
right?
They get schooled, and these guys come out, and their knowledge is all from prison, and it's sad because I feel that it's more than that. Sometimes
it is more than that.
Our culture is like, damn. Sometimes they get it twisted, man.
Well, I mean, when you go back to institutionalized Chicanos, is that the migration that came from Texas to Los Angeles gave an influx of, displaced Mexicans.
Yeah.
Right. So that's us. Right. They come, our first generation parents, or maybe even two generations prior to that. You know, and so the city of Los Angeles said, how the fuck are we going to deal with all their kids? What's going on here? Like, there's too many of them. So what do? They hire out people from Oklahoma, North Carolina. These are individuals that they hire on their law, on the LAPD.
Right.
Most racist fucking, they recruited, and they said, we're going to give you a house. We're going to give you a car. We're going to give you everything you need. But we need to control this population.
Wow.
By putting us in,
right?
Yeah.
So,
man, I remember being harassed. Like
that's in the 40s and 30s.
It's been going on since the Chicano,
not too long ago.
Suitors and all that.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
happening.
Everything's cool. Obama was president, bro. There's no racism anymore. What are you talking about?
Didn't you mention, Zero, that you grew up in the Zoo era?
Well, my mom did.
Or your mom.
My mom did. Yeah, she was in that generation.
Like the 40s, right? Like the 40s and 50s.
Yeah, my grandparents came in. Well, my grandfather came in the 30s, and then brought my grandmother, like early 40s, and then my mom ended up going to Wilson High School and all
the by Sereno, right?
Yeah, and all the elementary schools that are in Los Angeles. So my family's been here for a long time. Actually, third generation.
Yeah.
In this country.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm original. The truth is that I'm original.
Native, man. That's what it is. We're all from LA. You know, yeah. I'm originally Salvadorian descent, Pipil Maya. Growing up, my grandpa worked at the airport in El Salvador, the first airport, and he found Mayan sculptures while they built that road.
Wow.
And my uncle, we talk about that, and I was like, I remember seeing that when I was a kid.
Wow.
I remember seeing it, and it happens. The story goes that my uncle got a hold of it and sold it.
Yeah.
I was like, dude,
Yeah.
how much that would cost? Like, I mean, that's priceless. That's a priceless piece that was laying around the house that my grandpa had found.
You know, my dad, supposedly, my mom tells me, was a smuggler of art like that. Like, I guess the people would go do their you know, through their whole land.
So that's how valuable people actually cherish that artwork, right?
That's something that's been going on, man.
According to my mom, they used to sell them to rich white people who collected them.
Dude, white people, when white people see the Jada stones, they go crazy. They look at it and they know what it is.
Yeah.
Nice Jadas. Oh, that's a beautiful piece you have around your neck. And I get compliments all the time.
Yeah.
You know, I live like in a little white neighborhood. Everybody like, you know, I'm surprised that they even know.
It's not surprising. It's not surprising, you know. Our culture is so rich, and that's cool that you help out individuals that are, you know, maybe not a good choice, and now has to focus on something else.
Yeah, but I also help my friends that did beat the system and are out here tattooing.
Oh, okay.
Educate, you know.
So it's a mix.
It's a couple. Yeah.
But the prison art is one of a kind.
One of a kind, man.
It's like it's so detailed.
Shout out to Truthful, man, who's
really,
actually drawing some stuff for me, and he's incarcerated right now, and he's actually bringing some beautiful artwork from in there for me.
Yeah.
Personally, like my homeboy went and did some time, and then was like, "Hey, this guy right here, amazing.
Yeah.
Like you should work with him."
And they all do it like pen and
work.
And then I heard even sometimes one of my friends had a drawing from prison, and I just tripped on it. I was like, "Whoa, that is like the concept of it, the detail of it, and the color." And I was like, "Oh wow, that's like crazy. I want to buy that. Or are you selling it? Or like it's dope?" And he's all, "Nah."
We should design something, El Vuh.
Yeah, that'd be
streets
dope.
of LA. Let's collab.
Absolutely.
And I'll do something for you that you can sell and I can sell on my website, and we could just
you hear that, Armando?
I'll take care
LA
of it,
native
bro.
style.
So of course, this is Wednesday discussions, Warrior Think Tank. We do have fans asking questions. Carlos, so there's a fan asking, how do you seek artists? He's an artist, you know. He's interested in sending you some material so you could check out to potentially have his art on your shirts.
For sure, man. Just message me at Kultura Clothing LA on my Instagram. I'm always active on IG. That's where I do most of my promotions. You could click on the bio. On my bio, you're not gonna find a lot of crazy stuff. The thing with me is I got access to a shop, so I'm always creating. I'm always hitting them with different stuff every day. It's like, oh, what am I gonna do today? You know, I'll do some vinyl. I'll do some Dickie shirts. I'll do some Dickie jackets. I'll just go crazy,
and
man.
Zero, another thing that what I love about this segment is that Kultura Clothing is basically taking an initiative of your brand, right? Like Zero, whenever I used to go to your shows, you always had merch.
Yeah.
Well, now how important was that though? Because maybe me at 17, 18, I wasn't really thinking about it like that. I was just like, oh, artists always have t-shirts.
No, because it's hard to make. They're hard to make. You have to know how to make a screen. You have to know what graphic designer, color separations for. Like if you're doing all this independently, you have to know how to do all this. And if you don't, then you don't have merch, or you pay a lot of money to get merch. Yeah. You know, you're paying like double the price. Your profit margin goes down. But once you get the hang of how it's done, it's not difficult. You'll know your limitations. You'll know I'm not going to invest in a lot of colors because the return isn't, the same, right?
You could keep it simple.
Unless you go to direct to garment, which is a printed on style of,
to me, that's the way to go, man. Yeah. That's the future of printing, man.
Absolutely. If you could get a good price.
Like if you
get a good price,
the best.
Yeah.
You know?
Because you get all the detail, especially for stuff that you're doing. It has so much detail. It's like worth it.
It is. It is. For me, it's my best bet because I can't stand carrying around all them frames and screens. To me, it's like, hell no. So what I've done is I made it easier for me. I'll like grab some vinyl and I'll mix the colors. Like I'll make it look Skittles. I'll throw like a nice navy blue hit with my letters on it, and then I'll give you a DTG hit. And if you know DTG, the quality is definitely better. Yeah, you're gonna pay $45 for a shirt, but you're getting what you pay for.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you're not gonna sweat. It's not gonna be all sweaty from all that plastic platter that they slip on. It's just the future of printing, guys. DTG is the way to go.
I think, for artists out there that are trying to do merch or have that approach, he's a brand. A clothing brand's gonna invest more money and have more detail to their brand.
Of course.
Just like LA Natives. LA Natives took the initiative to put the little unapku and, design this from a Mexican, digitizer, graphic artist. So when you're doing band merch, and it goes back to what Armando was asking, I just did one color and the band name. That's where you start.
Yeah,
I have a band and this is its name and it goes on my shirt. And then I went into 2 colors. So now I have my band name with my design. That's phase 2. Phase 3 would be direct to garment, because you're selling lots of units and you can afford the direct to garment. You can go more detailed on your graphic design. That's the way I would build it. It's there's steps to this.
You gotta, like with me, I gave it a name and I gave it a face. So when you see like my little serpent logo, that's like the face of the brand. Sometimes I just throw the serpent logo, no name, no nothing. Or it's every drawing that gets done is probably tattooed on the girl, or why not? Just so it could be there. It's like a stamp. It's like the face of your brand.
Yeah,
that one right there, right?
You could go both ways. Yeah, you could go. That's it right there. Established 1970. That's my birthday, so we do a little something. That's my first drawing. That's what I took to the streets, man. When I first came out, I was like, what am I going to do? Okay, that's my logo.
Nice.
We'll make that my logo,
So we had a conversation about how important pricing is. Zero, you're a big believer on not undercutting yourself when it comes to pushing product, because sometimes, like, you had a good point when we started. Hey, don't undercut, because you might not go back.
Yeah.
We might not be able to drop the price.
Right.
So to hold a firm price, I believe in that, right, Zero?
If the quality's there and the product's there, yeah, you got to do that, because it's not just the shirt. It's like when you buy an LA Native shirt, it's not just, oh wow, that's a dope design and I want to show everybody this.
It's
logo.
LA culture, bro.
Right.
It represents the city, bro. That's what it does.
Like
just
the
like I
city,
do. I represent the city, the culture, my people, the roots of LA, of hip hop in general, of our people, of the struggle, bro. This is us, man. It's all we have. If we don't support each other, we're not gonna make it. I grew up in K-Town, man. I remember the Koreans backing up their play all the time. Those fools are very successful. They own half of fucking Wilshire Boulevard.
Yeah,
I seen it, bro.
Yeah.
I seen it happen from living in K-Town, growing up in K-Town, from K-Town to South Central. Is where I grew up.
The most important thing, though, is to put a solid product together, a packaging, whatever it is. Even if it's just, this is where I place my logo and this is where I put my design. Because I think you gave me a shirt that had a logo in the front and then the design was in the back. Yeah. Those are 2 different types of a design from a certain era.
Yeah,
right?
It's definitely I want to say 80s.
Yeah,
it's
a certain era.
Yeah, TNC used to do it. The Jimmy Z's.
Yeah.
That's that old school of skating. We from the West Side. We did a lot of skating growing up, man.
Yeah,
Shout out to Pet Williams. That's the homie right there.
That's what I love about LA, is that it's not just like, eventually you'll grow into something, but you start off as a kid in a sea of everything, where you could be like a punker, skater, this and that, and all of a sudden you're just like this entrepreneur.
Everybody want to be a skater. Everybody want to be a Max dude, a GT dude growing up in LA. Everybody want to be something, man.
Yeah, man. That's
so you got chased and shit, trying to get jacked by your bike,
or till the fucking skateboard hits you in your shins, like boom, really
Oh
hard.
man, they just chased my ass from the park. They were deep as hell trying to get me for my bike.
Yeah,
man. All we're trying to do is grab like a lunch from the park. The free lunches. It's funny, man, because that shit will happen.
That's cool that you choose artwork that reflects who you are and what we represent.
I do mine. I do mine. And I got a couple of Pipil Maya artwork coming out representing my Central American roots. And I feel that we just won, man. There weren't no borderlines back then. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's just one big, different tribes.
Well, if you ask me my opinion of what it was like back then, it's individuals mastering a craft and sharing that craft as far as you can share it. So there was trade from Mayas all the way to New Mexico. So they had to have a route that they followed, and they had to have something good to trade.
Right.
So when you say it's one, yeah, it is one. One unit interacting with each other, not one authoritarian people, but individuals that go, oh, look, I do this type of work, or I come from this place that has this certain thing. Like, you won't find quetzal feathers anywhere but in that region where you're from.
Yeah, Guatemala, Central America.
Central America.
The harpy's eagle too.
Right. But there's quetzal feathers in New Mexico.
Yep.
So how did that get there? Why did it get there? They must have been really, really cool to have someone go, oh, I'll give you this for it. Or not even that, maybe just an exchange of knowledge or whatever it is. It was interacting people, not one nationalism.
So they must have had like teachings, how to grow corn, how to grow this, and then they would just
imagine if I brought a new plant or species to your area and I said, look, this does this certain thing.
This many people in your tribe.
This is how you do it. This is when you do it.
Yeah. That's why they say let's trade like good Indians.
Right. I don't know if it was trade though. I don't know if it was trade, because then you would have to put value on things. And you think about it. If I'm going to travel 300 miles somewhere to trade, what am I going to use to bring that shit that I traded back? It's the experience to go there and the experience and ability to come back home. And if you bring something that's rare and that's from another place, then that brings your community a little bit closer to whatever it's seeking. You know, oh wow, there were people in the middle of the desert that had this ritual or this understanding. It wasn't like you went there like nowadays, oh, I'm going to go to Cancun for 5 days. No, if you went there, you're going to spend months there, maybe a year there, maybe 2 years there, and then make your way back.
For sure.
In the wild. This was the wild time. So
no car, no nothing.
No.
So I wanted to bring something up about these legendary necklaces that you have. And that,
well, it's not,
you know, when
I
met
on my account, man.
No, like Zero, you have an amazing necklace piece yourself.
Yeah.
When Seco Soldado was here, he had a piece himself.
Yeah.
Give us some background on being able to, like, how am I supposed to pick the piece for myself, Zero?
Well, for me, those pieces are just like rare because those are old pieces. Those are pieces. I have a necklace that was dug up from the ground and like in a ranch. So it's ancient. The other piece I believe is ancient as well. Just the head of it is. So they kind of come to you, you know, because I don't know. You just find yourself in a place where it's like, fuck, there it is, you know, and I get it. What the brother offers is plenty of design, you know, that you can choose from. But obviously the one that speaks to you is the one that you grab. And that's the one that you have faith in.
Or they give them to you as gifts.
Remember, we're giving points to our mind. So when you wear it, you're like, oh, look, remember, just real quickly. Like, I shouldn't even point to my head when I
shout out to Richie, Indigenous 1492. He said he got his necklace gifted by P-Dog. It was a gift.
There you go. That's even special.
That's bro. Yeah, right? Mine was a gift.
Right? So it meant a lot.
Oh, man, it means so much. My account out there, man. That's my boy.
When you get a gift, I mean, that's the ultimate. But sometimes you just have to be like, whoa.
And it's not just a typical gift, right?
He's a dancer. He's very...
he's a danzante.
Yeah, he's a danzante. He's very involved with the culture. Heavily.
Nice.
Heavily. And he knows you. Pays a lot of respect to you.
Nice.
He was like, hey, man, that dude is deep. I'm like, cool. All right. I go, I'm nervous. I'm nervous. He's like, you'll do fine. Just be you. I was like, cool.
Well, that's the whole point is that, you know, everybody has their road. And just the fact that we're in one community and we're interacting and, like I said, feel comfortable, feel here, you know, this is your home.
Yeah.
All people, because home is really what you protect, right? Your home is what you protect. But when you feel displaced in your own home, imagine being in your own house and someone telling you, "Hey, this isn't your house. Can you close the door?"
The city has definitely changed with time. Like what it was to what it is now. Like,
well, it's even going to change even more because, like I was explaining just a second ago, was when you're displaced in your own home. I want to just metaphorically bring that into your mind real quick. Imagine you being at your house, right?
Yeah.
You're in your couch, you're watching your TV. Somebody walks in and says, "Hey, bro, you left the door open. Can you go close that?" It's like, "I don't like my door open." And you're like, "What do you mean? I don't like, this is my house." "No, this isn't your house."
Right.
What do you mean it's not my house? "This is my TV. I'm watching it." That's the same thing that happened to us when they said, "Get the fuck out of here." And you're like, "What? What do you mean, get the fuck out of here? This is my house." And so then the children, when the Spanish priest, the Spanish priest stole them, started indoctrinating them with, "This is not your house. You're a Latino. You are Mexican. You are," and then so now you have psychologically lost in your own house that you got up from your couch and you shut the door because you're not in your own house. You understand that? Yeah. That's how we live here
in LA.
In LA. It's crazy. All over Turtle Island.
Shout out, we got Zero of El Vuh.
El Vuh up in the
we
house.
Got Kultura clothing in the building. We got the legendary
Spider
OG in the building.
Shout out
Spider.
To Spider, my boy.
Follow him at Spider Hip Hop.
Yeah. Hey, Spider, say something to the mic, man. What's going on with you, man?
¿Qué onda, raza? ¿Cómo andamos? Aquí andamos.
Hey, Spider's a legend in this hip hop game too.
Can you go ahead and drop some real quick for us?
Perdóname, mi madre. Yo sé que los años han pasado. Mira un chamaco. ¿Cómo? Porque vivimos en un bloque donde te maltratan. No hay resoluciones para levantar más trabajos, no palabras, porque tantos niños están sufriendo. Dios ayuda, porque ya no puedo, solo siento la pobreza, comunidad destruida, más violencia que nadie quiere, solo miran. Tantas madres en el welfare, sufriendo por sus hijos, por un plato de comida. No hay descanso, me preocupa de lo que yo estoy mirando. Que tan gacho cuando miro otra criatura desaparecida, sin ninguna pista. Cuando abro mi correo, se me afigura cuando veo otro niño desaparecido. Y yo digo, qué destino que vivimos. Ay, Dios mío, solo pido por un brillo. Estoy rezándole a Dios que nos dé la paz en esta nación. Unidos vamos recio. Así con el poder, con estas manos, estos puños, yo me los gané. En la vida, la calle es como rey. Mira lo que yo ya digo cuando digo en español. Las rimas que yo escribo, así como son las que yo siento. Mi vida ha sido mi madre ya llorando por mis mensajes. Esto es lo que yo sigo. Mira.
Whoa, that's a little bit.
Gracias.
It's for all you guys.
Shit,
little freestyle.
KM en español and shit.
Spider hip hop.
Yeah.
There you go. Follow him on IG.
Can you please tell our audience how long have you been in the game? Where are you from, Spider? You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Give our audience a little bit about Spider Hip Hop.
All right, gracias. Yeah, como Spider se creció en un ranchito, trabajando en el cerro, aprendiendo lo que era el esfuerzo de un mexicano, de un paisano en general, porque yo sabía que mi madre, al crecer, sabía que se partía el sudor para darnos algo en esta vida. Y es por eso que yo me perdí en las calles, me perdí en pandillas, sin saber lo mejor que tenía en mi vida. Y era mi madre que estaba ahí conmigo, pero no entendía por qué escogí mis amigos. Y es por eso que quise decir yo, ¿a qué es lo que voy a aprender para enseñarme cómo ser responsable? Y qué más como el rancho, mi pueblo, el que me hizo entender lo que era la humildad. Porque la humildad la practicamos, no la promovemos. Y es por eso que yo pude entender en esta vida. And I had to understand where I was coming from. So coming from nothing to being something and being able to acknowledge, if I didn't know how, if I dropped out on third grade elementary and I didn't went to school and I got lost in gangs and streets and drugs and depression, suicide, all kind of stuff that was going through my mind. And I was homeless from 9 to 16 years old, but God knew He had a mission for me. And that's when I united with my mother at the age of 17. But I didn't know what to do because I want to make the best out of it. I couldn't just focus and blaming my mom for my own mistakes, So I had to understand, how am I going to be able to grow in this life to know something or be something? So I just went back into my streets because I didn't know the school. I didn't know nothing like that. I just knew the streets. So coming from the streets, I just knew everything I destroyed, I helped rebuild. Why? Because I had to be real within myself, because there were so many kids which are our future. So I had to make sure that in this life, it's about solutions, not excuses, because I am a solution.
Spider hip hop right there, people.
Gracias, raza.
How'd you like that, Zero?
That was dope, man.
That was
It's
dope,
like,
man.
There's so many different stories in our
Yeah.
in our genre of LA natives and this indigenous hip hop movement, and it's bilingual. It crosses borders. That was the whole vision.
Yeah.
To have like a pan national, like tri-national, like Canada, US, Mexico, and then even further south as far as we can take it, right?
Right. And Spider, you're highly connected and involved in the Mexican hip hop movement. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I always talk to Zero about how the Spanish hip hop scene, especially in Mexico, is booming. Like our friend Eptos Uno is killing it over there.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
and you know what? One thing I understood, going with my words of wisdom, I understood that that bringing my words not just to fans, but bringing my word to those kids, our future. To understand the meaning of knowing how valuable is education, and why is this so important for me, the education, because I dropped out in 3rd grade in elementary, and I wasn't able to understand what was education about, and what could have win life.
Well, I mean, when someone is displaced that young, displaced meaning that you had to rely on yourself other than the help of an adult, for so long.
And you know what?
For so long. I mean, from 9 to 16, I mean, that's like 8 years.
It's crazy you say that, because they've been through a crazy life back from the 80s to the 90s.
Right.
I'm very blessed to understand what was the value about the calles, your camarada, the righteous, politics, all that stuff. What was it, how it was to feel when a homie didn't have nothing, you extended to give him something.
Right.
And that was the beauty about what gave you into the barrio.
Right.
Want to know that this is your familia. But then, to make the long story short, I remember I was at sleeping at some stairs, like
how old were
church.
You? How old?
I was 10 years old.
10 years old.
Yeah, when I was sleeping at the stairs of a church.
And what city?
In South Central.
South
right
Central.
There, Hoover and Adams, West Adams District.
Wow.
So from there, I seen BMWs, and it was not knowing that it was Ice-T.
What the hell?
And then I was like, damn, you know what? Let me see what's up. So from there, it started when I asked for a poster, and I think they were working on that song "Colors."
Oh,
Colors.
wow!
Yeah, and at the time, you know what I mean. So I just started getting more attached, and from everything, to make the long story short, I became a syndicate. I've been with Ice-T close to 30 years.
Wow.
Thanks to Evo E, Angie, people that really guided me, hip hop legend. That I understood. That's how I was able to get my own situation. Because I learned how to just be quiet and just listen.
Right.
I
mean, your story's amazing, brother. I mean, I can't count on my hand how many people survived displacement at 9 years old.
Yeah.
That's like some Indian reservation shit. Where, I mean, people don't realize that happens still today. That happened you're not too old. That couldn't have been more than, 25, 30 years ago, and so.
Kids get lost in the system, man. Our system is all messed up,
but
bro.
you know what's
kids are dying under
this is a positive story for me.
Yeah.
To understand that somebody at that young age, of course, look, the decisions you make from 9 to 21 are going to be distorted because you're alone and you're, I shouldn't even say untrained because you're still here.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
you,
a blessing.
you survived.
It's a blessing. It's a
Yes.
Yes.
The road probably was horrific, but that's what I love about understanding the life of the first attention and the second. The life of the first attention is everything that was taught to you. And at one point, you're going to have to break what was taught to you and start making your own decisions. And unfortunately, I can see in this brother's life that happened at a very, very young age.
Yeah.
And so now it has to contrast this amazing story of survival with a fucking narcissistic understanding of life that these whites bring in, going, oh, well, you're uneducated. You dropped out at the 3rd grade.
Right.
Yeah. But tell me how many people drop out at the 3rd grade and are still alive.
Right.
And, you know what I mean? Had to live homeless and shit. You know what I mean? Like,
and again, you know, me and Zero, we always reiterate when we talk about white or white supremacy or the white devil, it's not all white people, right?
No,
Zero.
White people are people who do not respect the land, who have no care for their water, that feel like polluting the air is not going to affect anyone.
Right.
And not understanding the beautiful land. Did I say land?
Yeah.
So it's land, air, water, and then this beautiful energy, fire, right? The fire that lives within all of us.
Now,
Now,
Carlos, do you agree with that? When it comes to, you know, when our brothers and sisters talk about the white devil or white supremacy, like, you know, is it all white people or is it just like those certain people that are just like,
I don't know.
I do know. Here's how I know. I know. It's very simple. Look, it's people think, oh, am I being racist or white supremacist or whatever?
No. I feel you. I've been in uncomfortable positions, but I've also I don't know. My mom worked for like a white lady growing up.
Doesn't surprise me.
She worked for a Jewish lady.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's different, bro. They treated her good.
Well,
I can't lie. Like, oh no, they were horrible to her.
But wait a minute.
They really discriminated on her.
Well, those are the good. That's good.
No, it's not good. It's not good. I'm gonna tell you why it's not good. Because your mom should have her own house.
Exactly.
And clean her own house. Not have to go
and she does.
Clean her own house and then go clean some lazy white person's house.
My mom's
That's
retired
different.
now. I
Now,
she's doing cool.
Look, I understand your mom's decision to want to put food on the table and have to do what she has to do. I'm talking about white supremacist theology. This individual said, I'm too good to clean my own house.
Yeah.
So I want to hire some other person to do it for me.
If you want to see it like that, it is pretty fucked up.
You know, one of the things I want to say.
Is it not like that though?
No, it is. It is. I agree. And raise your kids.
I remember going
I
to
have
the
my own
ranchos.
kids, right?
I remember going to the ranchos and seeing the oldest lady fucking washing dishes, making her bed, first one up, making breakfast, and I'm going like, hey, someone should sit her down and let's make her breakfast. And she'll slap the pan out of your hand. I make my own breakfast. I clean my own house. I make my own bed till I can't do it no more. Compared to a white lady who said, I don't have time to wash my own dishes. I don't have time to wash my own clothes. I don't have time to mop my own floor. I don't have time. I'm going to hire this peasant to do it for me.
That's fucking
no disrespect to your mom. Nothing like that. I'm talking about white supremacist theology.
Yeah.
Okay? Here it is. Some pope in 1493 wrote a decree and gave it to another European, and he took that paper and took it on a boat and said, with this paper, I can rape your wife. I can take your land. I could piss in your lake. I could shit on your fucking land with this paper right here. And we're going, what the fuck is this paper? Right? What the fuck? We don't know how to read it. It's not in our language. We don't understand it.
If we go back to that.
But with that still, with this fucking paper, it still exists. Yeah. That's how they rule and own everything, through that paper. Why? You're going, no, it's not. I know some white people that are nice. They'll go out to dinner with me and they'll kick it. Yeah, but Where did they get where did their grandfathers get their shit from? Yours. You know, your grandfather who was humble enough to say, look, there's enough land for everyone. There's enough food for everyone. As long as you keep the water clean, there's enough water for everyone. There's enough air and the sun shines every day.
And that falls into decolonizing, right?
No, I feel like this. Look, everybody's open to their opinion.
Yes.
In a conversation like this, because there's good and bad. I see my mom going through a lot of stress,
right,
from taking care of these kids,
other people's kids,
and but she did well for herself.
I'm not talking about your mom is an amazing mom. Why? I'm gonna tell you why. Because she raised their kids,
and she was smart. She invested her money. She made money, bought properties in her motherland,
right?
And she's living hella good out there.
Right.
Like she can actually say, I don't want to live here. Go over there and retire.
Absolutely.
And live a lavish life.
I don't want to confuse the conversation with your mom, because your mom has nothing to put. Your mom was put in an economic situation where she had to cross the border illegally. She had to find work without a social security card. She had to do things that she had to do because she was forced.
And that's my mother. And that's I'm first generation. Like my father's from La Ruana, Michoacan.
There you go.
Where my grandpa and all of my uncles shot each other to death for a woman. It was a weird story. Right. My mother's from Rosario, Argentina. Still to this day, I have no idea how they got over here.
Yeah.
That's how deep it is.
Wow.
I think one of the things that is very important that I learned working with so many families, going deep in there into even the craziest barrios, but communities.
Sure.
One thing, because of when about his mom and what you're talking about, one of the main things that I understood that is missing here is less
separation.
Not separation. It's more like
you gotta
what is missing here. What is missing here? Educate. That's what I was gonna say.
Educate the white, bro.
No. Let me tell you.
Never be afraid of who you are.
Let me tell you real quick.
Let your presence be known.
When we have one thing I learned is when people are gonna do things in the community, help our people. It's easy to talk, it's easy to say and what you want to do, but not understanding when you put yourself in that position is very delicate. You gotta make sure that choice you made because of that heart you have and how you feel and how strong you're trying to speak on it. Then when the actions come within, then that's when you start realizing every day is a struggle because you feel their pain as well as your own pain. So every morning that you wake up, the first thing you gotta do is thank God for giving you another day of living and give you that strength to empower our people and understand, yes, because I came in this game with a rooster, with como Zapata, Pancho Villa. I came straight empowering our paisanos. Hey, enough with this mistreating our gente, white people, black people. Because let's not forget about black people, with all due respect. One thing as me, as a community activist, working with different races, going into families and doing all and experiencing why is it that this race thinks different than this race? Why is it that this? Why is it that? And the most thing that I had more deep focus, it was in the black community. Why I was focused more on the black community? Because they had a different state of mind of thinking. Because one of the main things that in the black community, with all due respect to everybody in the black community, is that respect. That it's not too in there. Because it's not because they didn't understand that respect. It's what they were taught, as well as white people going back into a land that is not even theirs, knowing that we go way back, and if we put we put the cards in the table, they're gonna start realizing the truth, because they think that United States in the middle of the map when United States not even in the middle of the map, and if you start looking deep into that, then you're gonna realize the knowledge about uniting. It has to be the empowerment of what you want to see and how you're going to unite that, and understanding different race so that nobody could be offended of what you're trying to do there. That's why I understood every race because there's Mexicans, negativity, there's white negativity, there's black negativity, but at the end of the day,
we all one, man.
When you focus on the positive of different race, you start learning more of their culture and why is it that they got their ways like that.
We all know hate is not the answer, man.
And not only that, but when you compromise your own time to learn from them, then you're gonna understand how to keep your limits, because you cannot just save the whole world. You at least could understand how to walk with that situation and know how to deal with it. So at the end of the day, you could go your own way.
Have your white friend watch Apocalypto. That's a good fucking movie.
But not only that, but because one thing I learned.
That's gonna show you something.
One thing I learned is when I came to the schools and empowering the youth with my words of wisdom, with everything that, okay, that's fine. I'm not gonna try to change a kid or youngster in how, he got his balls all tied up and he ain't gonna listen. He's just from the hood. He's like, no matter what you tell him, common sense, he's still gonna go what he's used to. But you know what? When you start blending in and you start understanding that, because you come from the same situation of what he's trying to be in, and when you empower that and change that negativity to positive, then you're gonna start understanding that's a different way of walking. And that's when you start learning more about them than trying to be something better than them.
I think what I'm talking about is something that's not specific to a person.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
It's almost
look,
like
man,
it's almost like
hey, Vuh, you want to know something, man? I have friends that friend me on Facebook when Trump was president. Because I went off, fool. Like I was like, hey, homie, fuck you.
Right.
Like straight up. You my white homie, but I don't care, dog. Like, you disrespecting my people, you disrespecting you think you better or you more than me, but you don't even live in this country. You in Central America somewhere. So come back like a good American, pay your taxes, homie. Where you at?
Right.
If you're such a proud American.
Racism has so many layers, right? It has so many layers. Well, I'm talking about anybody who said, all right, all of us right here, we're going to write down on a piece of paper that we could go into anybody's house, take their car, take their woman, kill their kid. Even if you wanted to do it for the whole block. With this paper right here that I signed, you're going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Here you go. And these motherfuckers got that paper, came over here, and you'll realize everybody starts going, oh, it was the king of Spain. Or was the king of Portugal. But the first thing they'll say is they put the cross down.
Yeah.
They put the Spanish. They put the cross down.
It was the oil. The oil in Texas.
The cross represents the paper, saying that if you are not aware or understand that this God rules, then you're less than me.
Yeah.
Doctrine of discovery is what it's called. So I discovered this land that happened to have people that look like that, like this image right here, right? Oh, I think it went off. Anyways, it has an image of a native because he looks different than me. He doesn't understand the Christian values. And with this decree, I could take your land. I could take your children. I could take your wife.
It happened.
And that's what happened.
It really did, bro.
And that's what I'm talking about.
No. Yeah. I understand you completely, brother.
And people don't realize that slavery is still happening because in a smooth way, because they got you waking up at 8 early in the morning to go to work and come back and make sure you be there every day and pay your taxes and make sure, but in a smooth way, in a
perfect.
But at the end of the day, who's really are suffering the consequences in this earth, in this life? So as one, a raza, or however you want to call it, my boy, but we know that we're powerful.
Right.
Because why? Because there's so much knowledge. Right. And so much
your mind, man.
Richness. Like you said, the earth, la tierra is rica.
Right.
And everything that, that they're stepping on it is like, it's what can you do about it? It's like I say, making something out of nothing.
Yeah.
And whatever you get involved, you need smart about and try to convert it in your own way
Right.
So that way you don't have to feel that you're gonna be a slave or being, because at the end of the day, when you go deep into it, what are they really thinking behind those walls? When
El
they have
Vuh,
you-
your rhymes are ruthless, bro.
You know.
You show them no mercy. I love you for
Did
that.
they show
No, they didn't.
my
They
people
didn't.
any
They
mercy?
didn't.
Like,
They didn't.
and look at this is the weird thing about it, right?
Shit,
Like
they
if,
did it.
like if we were at each other's house again.
Sorry about
analogy
that,
to
guys.
being-
The video went out. I just recovered it.
Oh, for sure.
Again, this is Zero of El Vuh. We got Spider right here.
¿Qué onda, raza?
We got Carlos right here. Hey, Spider.
Ahora, cállate.
Predict, yeah.
Yeah, come on.
Let's go ahead and change it out.
Come on, let's change.
We have about 20 minutes left.
All right, let's do this.
Come
I
on,
We
love
got
it.
Predict. We got Predict in the house.
predict.
Hey, Spider, gracias.
No, for sure, man.
Hey, where they can find you, Spider? Send a shout out right there, right quick.
¿Qué onda, raza? Me pueden encontrar. Ya can find me on, hip hop, Spider Hip Hop, or Facebook, Lion Music Records.
Yeah.
Gracias.
Thank you, Spider.
Hey, thank you, man.
And you know what, Zero?
I love Spider's story, man. Like,
Yes,
he's
Spider's
homeless.
truly one of a kind.
This is a true genocide survivor in the 21st century. Just give up, follow him. Man, the brother was homeless from 9 to 16, bro. Then he found his mother. That's a positive story.
And one more
And the
thing, one
fans-
more
hey,
thing I
Spider,
just want to
Spider,
say.
just real quick. The
Okay.
fans love you. The chat's hot.
Thank you,
Just
raza.
real quick, any messages for them?
Yeah, I just want to say, you know what anything you want to do in life, no matter if you've been through nothing, all the way through skid row like I have, even eating from a trash can, not knowing that, going through a lot of people that make fun of me, that I needed to be in a mental health because I was thinking so big. And one of my main things I wanted to do is bring a park in my barrio, in my pueblo, in my community. And what I did, I kept focused. I didn't listen what everybody was telling me. I just knew that I was a solution in life.
Yeah.
And I had to make something about it without excuses, because the more I had excuses, the more I was pushing myself away within myself to know myself. So one thing I want to say, whatever you put your mind, you could accomplish. Never forget that. And don't believe whatever they say that you can, because I know you can. If I had no education, dropped out on 3rd grade in elementary, and at 23, I brought a park, and I got over $37,000 grant from the city that provided a park in my barrio with my name. Up to today, I'm balling in 27 in Los Angeles, California. You could go there, and you'll see right there my blessings that God gave me to keep empowering my gente and everybody, to let them know that always remember, solutions, not excuses.
Yeah, Spider.
All facts.
Alienated.
All facts. West Adams best.
Yeah.
Spider, G Rabs, SKM. And we got Predict in the house, man. That's my homie right there from the 818. Just came by and gave us a visit. Go right here, right quick.
Right on, Spider. Man, what an amazing story. I mean, obviously, people have their own road and they'll make their own decisions, and sometimes
Well,
those
they're all
decisions.
facts. He really did open the park in the hood. And
No, I believe.
straight community activists.
I
Right?
completely believe everything he said. How you doing, my friend? Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, Predict.
Talk to the mic.
This is Zero.
Predict.
I'm right here. What's good? What's good, man?
So another recording artist.
Who, Predict?
I'm
Yeah.
an entrepreneur now.
Oh, entrepreneur now.
Yeah, I used to be a recording artist before.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah. That's
So-
how I make conejo and all that.
Oh, all right. And what do you do now then?
I'm a dog breeder.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
That's
I breed English bulldogs.
Talk to the
I
mic.
breed English bulldogs now.
All right on.
Yeah, that's what we're into right now.
Sweet.
Getting to that money back now.
Yeah. Well, rare dogs are. I remember when we played for El Vuh, they asked us to go to a bully
A bully show?
a bully show.
Oh, yeah.
Man,
shit.
yeah,
They-
I
they-
saw the rarest dogs there that were like, sometimes like, whoa, what the fuck? Like they look kind
Well,
of
sometimes
monster-ish.
when you dispense on.
Yeah, go ahead.
When you get it into that game,
Yeah.
and you have your first litter, and you have to go to the vet and get a C-section and everything. It's like,
Oh wow,
it's like more exciting than having a baby. You
wow. Oh,
Because they be coming out like little bags, so they gotta cut it open. You're
Wow.
like, damn, that's a color it is. Oh shit, look at this color, look
Wow.
at that color. Is there any more? They keep coming.
So
So
what
you
is?
just seen the dollar signs coming in. You're like, man, it's better than paying child support. Palabra. Shout
Wow.
out to all them fools out there
This
that
is-
don't pay their child support, man. Get on it, man.
Our culture is so rich, and this is what I love about all of our community, because we all have a focus, we all have a way of surviving genocide, just like Spider's story. just like brother right here with the Kultura clothing.
Kultura
And now we have
man, predict.
Predict.
Shit, I had to cross the border when I was like 4 years old, man.
Oh
I'm
my
from
God.
Guadalajara, Jalisco. What's good?
No way, really?
Todos los tapatíos.
There you go, man. Look at that. See,
Shit, man, I got my green card to this day. What's good?
and now you breed dogs.
Now I breed dogs. I work for myself, man.
That's super cool,
You know,
man.
one of the lucky
Congratulations,
few SKM members. You know, gracias Conejo, you know.
Yeah.
All
Good
right.
stuff. Good stuff, brother.
Yo, Predict.
Yeah.
How do you like Kultura clothing, bro?
Man.
Like from the outside looking in, bro. Like
Man.
if Kilo wasn't your homie, like
Look at me smiling, dog. It's because, man, he has such authentic artwork, bro. And I could just relate to it, you know, because that's my bloodline right there, you know?
Yeah.
Straight mexica, bro. Soy mojado, dog. That's how you gonna see it.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm very proud of my culture, you feel me? And it hits home. So that's why I represent it con todo mi cora, you know?
He got all most of the artwork is tattooed in his body, man. It's
that's
just,
right.
It's just all love, man.
All love, artwork,
I show
you
love
know?
to my people, man. Like, hey, hey, my models are from the hood. Like,
Nice.
I go to the hood and take the homies and I invite them.
Right on.
And I use like the streets. My brand is authentic, man, because I don't want no like fake person wearing my shit. Like I got a street team that represent my brand, and it's mostly like homies from my neighborhood that I grew up with.
Right.
And I'll tell them like, hey, come by. We're gonna do a quick photo shoot. Let me hook you up.
So
and give you a package right quick, and we're gonna bring the streets to the photos.
Let me ask you this: like I've owned companies. I still own companies. I own my own juice bar as well, and so now you own your shirt company and your brand. You got your brother who does the bully dog breeding. What is your structure or inspiration of leadership from being the top of the like? Do you wear all hats?
I've always,
do you wear all hats? Do you go like, look, I'm the brains of it all. Like I do this and I do that and I do that, or do you go, I set up a good team and I let this person do this and I let this person do that? Like, what is the
structure? It's a structure too.
He'll even run it by me and be like, "What do you think, Predict? What do you think about this art?" And I'm like, "Man, that's cool. Maybe you should switch this up." And he goes back and he redoes it, and damn, bam, like,
okay,
oh shit, we're just dealing with some authentic shit right now.
So it's inclusive. It's an inclusive.
Man, there's been times where we bring it out
and exclusive.
There's times where we bring out the artwork and there's like little stuff that we didn't catch, and we'll just go back to the drawing board, fix it, and put it out. Like, because there's little details of stuff that we caught ourselves doing that it's like, oh shit, that totally makes the drawing look fucked up. You gotta go back to the drawing board. Like the neck looked like an ET neck, just shady.
And with a big old head like this.
Yeah, and there's been times where we actually have to go back to the drawing board, back to prison artwork. Like, you can't, like, sometimes
not everybody could draw that.
You tell them like, hey, you don't have to do too much heavy shading because it's gonna go to DT. It's gonna go to like a graphic designer that's gonna do the shading for us. Right. So just hit it lightly.
Oh, I see.
And they won't be able to do it. Like, they want to draw it all out.
Right. I see what you're saying.
And that affects
that is the experience though of putting out. I know what it's like for the.
You know why that is though? Because a lot of these brothers been busted for a long ass time, and they don't know the technology that's out here. Where they don't need to. You don't need to do all that shading. Like, just hit it lightly, and we'll take care of it.
Is it because your graphic designer has issues with the having the artwork exactly how they produce it?
Sometimes we have to. There's been artwork that I put out that's authentic, straight from the prison, like, and it didn't do as good. And I went back to the drawing board and did a little bit of changes where the girl features changed a little bit, and we do the little
by highlighting
and it did better than the original.
Oh, I see.
But to me, I was like, the original.
Let me ask this:
authentic.
is there any controversy because you use prison art? Is there any controversy in that? I don't know.
No, it's like exclusive artwork. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Exclusive
I'm asking a question. It's coming from a place of incarceration where people automatically, how they go, oh, it has messages, or is there any controversy?
Right. I try not to. We try not to get into that into that artwork. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want.
That's probably some of the cleanup stuff that
Yeah.
you have to do.
I'll put
right?
like my logo on it if it has anything like I'll switch it up just to keep the heat away from anything like that.
But there is some sort of like I would imagine that anything coming out of an institution, it's fucking looked at like a fine tooth comb.
If you really look at it, every tattoo, even if you're not a gang member, means something.
Right.
So it doesn't matter if you penitentiary art or regular art on your skin. Just because there's people that have their whole body sleeved up, they wouldn't even like last one day inside the goddamn police station when they're calling for their bailout.
Absolutely.
So I seen that shit happen.
No.
All watered down.
Well, I mean, where it comes from, what happened to us in terms of the whole story, right?
Man.
The institutionalizing of it, being incarcerated, and having that imposed on you.
I had guys at the Swami feel a little like I don't know, a certain way about the artwork, but at the same time,
because they don't got our artwork, you feel me? So
like,
they have to feel some type because
like,
competition's knocking at your door.
And you know what, Carlos? I want to shout you out for going to the swap meet and selling your merch. That's like for me.
Oh, that's where you get all the discounts.
No,
people want to know where they get the discounts.
For me personally, I grew up in Norwalk, and
I got Santa Fe Springs.
I grew up in Norwalk,
and
as a kid, like the most iconic place I would go to was a place called the Santa Fe Springs Swap Meet every Friday night and Saturday morning.
It's like Rodeo Radio Swap Meet, right?
And for me, those are sacred grounds for me because that's where I grew up.
Yeah.
And then I see Kultura clothing in there, and I'm just like, man, that's dope.
We just go out there and show love.
I grew up in the Valle. I used to go to San Fernando Swap Meet or the North Hollywood Swap Meet to go get my gear or something. You know what I mean?
So you got to travel.
You got to travel.
Yeah. Santa Fe Springs was always a happy joint.
Now that I think about it and I look at the designs, and I have one that you gave me and I've seen several other ones, it kind of battles like Solon, right? Solon has that, they kind of market it as tattoo style, like, well, this is
this is coming from the homies, it's all love.
That's why it's called Kultura, because it's part of our culture. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
We're just different.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, definitely, because Solon took like, I guess tattoo artists that do different styles, like the koi fish, and they kind of focused
that's
on that.
Like the Chinese, Asian stuff. You know what I mean? But
which which is ironically in Japanese culture, that's a prison culture.
Right.
That's a prison culture because they started tattooing in prison.
But at the same time, if you tattoo that, it means almost like look like if it's going up the stream.
Right.
So you can switch it up however you want to see it.
How I'm just what I'm contrasting with is like the style of it, right? Like one goes, oh, Solon's not using prison art or whatever, but in reality, if you look deep,
they're doing a lot of
that's
art,
kind of like in their.
Artists.
What I'm trying to say is the street culture, or what people look as negatively, right?
Right.
We don't look at it as negatively because that's the circumstance that was given.
That was put in. A lot of these.
We're gonna put us here, or we're gonna start drawing, and we're gonna start doing other shit, right?
And
so
it's like.
I'm not trying to point things out in a negative fashion. What I'm trying to do is how people view our people. What is their off the bat fucking reaction to you?
I'm a realistic. I see what you're saying. Like I see your point, and then I see the slavery that we're living. I mean, it's modern slavery, bro. It really is.
There you go.
Why could they do that to us, but
the perceptions of us, you guys are great guys. You guys are fun. Smoke a little bit of weed.
When I came from Mexico, this is how bad it was. I mean, I'm a 4-year-old kid coming out here. You know what I mean? We ended up in like Pacoima, Arleta area when I came down.
Right.
And we're like in a house with like 18, 20 of our family members. You know,
wow.
Bedroom house. Everybody's sleeping.
I know what that's like.
You know how it is.
I know what that's like. Yeah,
sleeping absolutely. In the bathroom, in the hallways, in the kitchen, like. Man, but I mean, I was 4 years old. Right. All I remember was the Olympics. So me going to school, starting school here without knowing no English, it was hard, bro.
Oh,
I've got to call every fucking name on the book, you know, from like, go back to your country, you wetback, you beaner, you
by the way, I was raised in Central America.
Now,
El Vuh, I was born in LA.
Mm-hmm.
in 1978,
Uh-huh.
born in LA
Right.
at Harvard General,
Uh-huh.
and sent at 9 months old to El Salvador, and then
Oh,
came
was
back.
different.
so
back.
he was
son.
born American and went.
And
back.
I was Mexican
Went
when I
over
came
there
over
by my
here.
grandma, and
Wow.
then when I was 5 years old,
Wow.
I came back. So I
You
got
went to
to
live with your grandma.
Man, I got to see poverty
That's
at
fully peak.
Yeah.
full of speak, bro.
And-
like honestly,
That's
And
how
this
I
is
roll,
what
you know?
this is what LA Natives is all about. This conversation,
Yeah.
this episode was such an amazing.
I want to go back to. I want to
inspiring
go back. I want to go back
episode.
to brother's story of of going
We got
to
5
a
minutes,
school.
Zero.
Yeah.
We got 5 minutes.
Of going back to school.
Oh,
this went by really fast, by the way.
Going to school at 4 years old, knowing a different language, forced to learn a language off the top, and then since you
being
didn't,
cornered and everybody's talking about you, and you're just like damn, man, with your head down, but like you can't even cry. You know what I mean?
Right.
Damn.
Look
you're
at that.
a Man, bro.
So this is the product.
That's a lot of like. This is my very first podcast ever, dog. Nobody has ever.
And
heard
shout
my
out to
story.
everybody that
You know what
listening,
I mean?
man.
So
We're
shout
just
out to anybody out there that's
storytelling,
waiting
you know?
on me or some shit.
Shout
Man,
out to
just
Predict.
watch me till they catch me one time. Like on a whole hour, we're gonna keep this shit going.
And
you know?
we got hip hop
Shit.
stories too, man. Like
You
I
know?
grew up in
Like
the
when
West
ask
Side.
him-
Shout out.
ask him when-
No,
when
shout out
Bernie met each
to
other.
Sico Soldado, right?
Hey, shout out to Sico Soldado, man.
Reco, we got a Spider.
Yep.
We got Mr. Soto.
Oh yeah,
Soldado
hey,
got a
Spider
Capo.
just blessed us. Yeah.
Fucking Capone from Texas. Shit, anybody from the SK
Hey, we could
mob,
probably
man.
have
and
Spider
Up
come
Block,
back and drop
Underdog
something
hip
else.
hop
Wow.
up in this motherfucker.
Go ahead,
you
Zero.
know?
So
Shit,
go ahead.
What were you gonna
So-
ask me to spend?
So, well, I think I want to conceptualize things for our audience because our audience is very diverse. It could go from an individual who lives in Oklahoma, a native over there, right?
Yeah.
But then we got the Wednesday show where we really feature locals, right? Local entrepreneurs,
Yes, sir.
local recording artists like Spider.
we support each other. When me and him, we met when they got out of jail.
Okay.
So we met each other at the Camarillo outlets. He saw how I got approached by the police.
Right.
And at
Oh, we
that
got
time,
harassed that
yeah,
day.
at time,
Oh,
I
that
was
was
at the
such. You
post
remember
office.
that?
Oh,
So
wow.
I was a federal employee.
Oh,
So
shit.
they were pressing up on me when my record was clean as fuck.
What?
So it wasn't like,
Dude, we got harassed
I have
out
it all
there.
on video, bro.
This fool was
He
all
saw
beat
me.
up with a muscle shirt, and we got the bulldogs.
But I had the
Right.
bulldogs and the service dogs.
Right.
Man.
So
Yeah.
that's where it's like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Leave
Zero.
me alone. Two questions.
So
And then we had Conejo, so we're like, man, we gotta
Right.
check the spot, and the little toy cop
And then
was
the homie-
straight, like
Absolutely.
talking crap, and we're like, what was that?
Go ahead, Zero.
We get into
So,
that. That's
no,
me, man.
I love my family. I love my community because it's so diverse, and to expose it in its raw form, no excuses, no judgments, just an understanding that the community has a story. We have Spider, who was homeless from 9 to 16. We got Predict.
Yeah.
Predict, who became his own entrepreneur after being brought here from a foreign land, not knowing the language, and knowing the kids are making fun of him, and he's not even really understanding what they're saying, but he feels the energy. Look, what I'm trying to put a picture is that genocide survival is not easy,
It's not, man.
and sometimes we make decisions.
This system is made for us to fail, man, and you gotta overcome that.
Absolutely. And so as we come together as a community, as we have more of these shows, as we have more warrior think tanks, you'll start to realize that the healing process will be in accepting who we are fully. And we'll all make a decision on how we congregate, how we exchange energy of whatever sort. But know one thing, my family, we're all one people. We all have one heart. We all have one mind. We all have one earth. And we all have one mission. And that's to heal our people from 500 years of genocide.
So fuck Trump.
LA natives.
Always.
We'll see you guys this Sunday. We have Keys,
IMC.
Yes. And really appreciate everyone tuning in. It's been
Thank you, chat.
Thank you, chat. The
Hey,
chat
thank you
was
for
lit.
having us, man.
Thanks, Spider.
Hip Hop
Before we go, Carlos,
Natives
drop
and
all your
Bull.
links. Where can people find the merchandise?
They can go to my
Website.
Instagram, Kultura Clothing LA, with a K, not a
with
C.
the K, with the K.
Yeah, we do it with a K. Just man, because everybody
Switching it up, bro.
it started like that, so we just kept it like that. you could go to my bio. You could shop online or just stay on the gram because I drop more stuff on the gram than I do on my website. You go to the website, you get your basic stuff, but
There it is,
I'm a
guys.
creative.
You catch them at the sawmill, you get the real exclusive shit.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, you can catch me at the Sawmill. I give all the deals out there. You
there
guys
you
can
go.
see me out there. Hey,
And the
it's all
Swami
love,
is the
everybody.
Santa Fe Springs meet.
Santa Fe Springs. Yup.
Yes, sir.
I normally post it when I'm out there, but
Nice.
most of the time you could just shop online. Just go to my bio, shop online, and I'll deliver my stuff.
What is
man.
it? Kultura Clothing LA, right?
Kultura
Okay.
/clothing LA. They could go to my bio on Instagram and find me there.
And then we'll
boom.
we'll repost it on the story and on
Not just that, we got to
Yes.
do something. We got to do a collab with you, man.
absolutely,
Whatever
absolutely.
you want, man. Like I said,
You're
it
next.
was a
We gotta-
pleasure meeting you.
Yeah,
I
brother.
just came out of nowhere.
I'll
see?
bless you with
I just
something that you
felt
can
like
take
that
to
in
the
and out.
shows, man.
It's all good, brothers. We love our
We'll
family.
do something
here.
exclusive.
Yeah,
something exclusive for you, for the streets,
Absolutely.
for the love of the
For the love of the culture.
the city and the
we're all
culture,
one family,
bro.
dude. We're all one family. I feel safe. when
Thank
I'm
you
with
for
brothers
having
around.
us here, man. It's a pleasure.
True
LA.
warriors.
Hey,
All right,
hit me
guys.
up
Much love.
hit me up at Predict Moneybag Bulldogs. If you need that color kind of bulldogs, you gotta have that money though, man. Or don't talk to me.
He's serious about his business. He breeds dogs.
$8,500, $10,000 bulldogs.
$10,000 minimum.
Hey,
Wow.
check this out. Shout out to Saul.
10,000.
Yeah, we're
Uruciaga.
having that Lilac Tribe Merle tweed. I'm announcing it
Shout
right
out to
now.
27
Everybody's been wanting
Junkies.
to see what was popping
Yep,
with
yep.
that shit, but that's the kind of dog we having right
Just
now.
homies
Lilac
that
Merle.
helped me out on this journey, man, since I was doing it. Hip Hop Block. Thank you for always
Always
supporting us.
blessing us. Hell yeah, man. You already know
It's
what
always
it
a
is,
blessing, man. And we're gonna do it. SKM Conejo, thank you, brother, for
Cultura.
just leading the opening the
pack.
doors.
Yeah. Hey, if it wasn't
the
for
hip-hop
Conejo,
game.
Absolutely.
none of us would even be here, bro. So that's what I'm saying. When people say SKM, who you guys are, we're everywhere. That's all
Yeah.
I could tell you, man. But we're just a team. We're a
There you
hungry
go.
team.
Right on.
that
Shout out
we
to
didn't have
Misfit
shit.
Soto.
We didn't have shit. And that's
Yeah,
how
that's
it's
the
a
brother
Sinister
right there
Kingdom
too,
thing,
man. Much love.
We
This
get
is
it.
what LA Natives is all about, right, Zero?
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. We're
Local.
calling some underground hip hop names.
Shout
Hey,
out to Underground Hip Hop Blog.
hey,
man.
shout out to Ralph Fan from Funk Dubious, man. That's my homeboy. We grew
Yeah.
up in the West Side. He probably don't remember me when
Hey,
I was
shout
a
out to the
kid,
homie
but-
Pee Wee too, man. Bring your ass back, man.
Hey, Pee Wee out in San Diego right now.
Yeah,
Pee Wee
yeah.
Tattoos. Follow
Yeah.
him. He's
That
a
was
good artist.
that was my
Oh,
stepdad's
so-
name. Pee Wee.
Julio, my homeboy Julio Calderon. He's another great tattoo artist that
Oh yeah,
also
shout out
is
to
an artist
Julio.
for.
Hey man, I'm
for
waiting on your
Kultura
handwriting,
Clothing.
bro.
He's
That
also draw for
Guadalajara,
us.
Jalisco. You already know what it is, man.
Shout out to him, man.
All right, guys, just make sure you guys don't forget, stream us on Spotify, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow us on Twitch. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Zero El Vuh, Predict, Spider, Hip Hop, Kultura Clothing. We will see you guys next week or this Sunday. Peace.
Pórtense bien.
Much love, LA.